Sponsored by Lexus. What amazing ideas will you inspire next? Patrick Mahomes led the Chiefs on a historic comeback against the Texans yesterday. Down 24 points, Kansas City reeled off 41 unanswered points that included 4 passing touchdowns by Mahomes in the second quarter alone. The Chiefs went on to win 51-31 and became the first team ever to win by 20 points after trailing by 20 in the playoffs. So, Reggie, was yesterday more about the Texans or more about the Chiefs?
I think this one was more about the Chiefs' comeback because the Houston Texans did what they've done all season long on defense, and that's give up points and give up yards. They gave up 35 to Tennessee Titans. They gave up 38 to the Broncos, 41 to the Ravens, and 31 and 30 to the Saints. And so they've been in the bottom 5 in total defense and pass yards all season long. So this was nothing different in this game. But to me, this was more important for Andy Reid. Right, and for Andy Reid in the playoffs because he has struggled in recent years. He has been one and done, and I think it was like the last 5 games or something like that in the playoffs. So seeing him get this win was so important, not only for the Chiefs, but for his legacy as well. Because, again, he struggled, and he struggled in a big way. I know Houston collapsed, but you go up 24-0, you're supposed to win that football game. Right? And so your defense gave up 5 touchdowns, 321 yards to Patrick Mahomes, about 134 to Travis Kelce. This was more about the Chiefs' comeback than I think it was Houston.
I agree. The Chiefs. This was about the Chiefs. Skip, when I look at it like this, there's going to be momentum, and normally when you get to the playoff, the momentum does not swing as much in a playoff game, and as you go further in the playoffs, it swings even less. The question is that when you have the momentum, how many points can you score when you have the momentum? The Texans got 24. When the momentum swung the other way, the Chiefs got 41. They got 41 before the Texans could stop the bleeding. And then they scored touchdowns and said, you know what? We're going to run off another 10. And ball game. That was it. And that's what happens because they're built for this. If you need Pat Mahomes to throw the ball for 70 times, Skip, he's capable. This is their offense. Their offense is really throwing the ball. They don't have, ever since they got rid of Kareem Hunt, they can't run the ball like they once could. Skip, they were special when they had him. But now they don't have a guy like that. Shady McCoy's on his last legs. As a matter of fact, I don't even think he played. He might have been inactive yesterday because I didn't see him touch the field not once. Damon Williams is great. He's more of a catcher than a runner out of the backfield.
But listen, he can run it, too. They just didn't need it yesterday.
Right. Well, I think once you got behind, and that's what you have to do, they're going to have this kind of philosophy next week. Get ahead and to take Derrick Henry out of the game. But I think because they got so far behind, they needed to throw the ball, and they were very, very comfortable with Patrick Mahomes, boy, who's the greatest quarterback going right now, Skip.
Oh, yeah.
Lamar Jackson's going to win the MVP. Deservedly so. But they say, ask the general managers. Ask all 32 of them, say, well, we're going to give you a good quarterback. And you can have him for the next 10 years. Who you want?
Who you want?
I guarantee you 30 or 32 say, we want my homeboy.
But I thought you said Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback going.
No, Aaron Rodgers won't. Skip. Stop that. We just had this conversation on Friday that I told you, any quarterback, we talked about, you love Deshaun, and Deshaun is great. Lamar Jackson had a historic season, but I'm not taking any quarterback that's currently playing over that guy, Patrick Mahomes, boy. He was special.
If I could take Deshaun Watson out of the Texans mess and put him in the Kansas City track team with Andy Reid calling the plays, listen, you would have special.
That would be special.
I think it would be a little more special than Mahomes boy because Deshaun's got winners intangibles, playmaking intangibles like I have never seen before. Speaking of national championship games against Alabama back to back.
He did have Clemson. They're loaded with talent. Don't make it seem like, so if we'd had Pat Mahomes playing for Clemson, they're going to be worse. Deshaun Watson, if you wanted to impress me, put Deshaun Watson on Texas Tech and have them get them to the national title game. Clemson is loaded with talent.
Every year.
What do you tell me year after year after year after year after year? It's all about St. Nick and that defense.
Yes.
You tell me it's the Alabama Invitational.
Skip.
They're not in it this year. I don't know.
But Skip, you still have to, Skip, look, quarterback's a quarterback. But this is a talent-based business. That's what sports is about. Now, you try to make it seem like Deshaun had nobody. at the wide receiver, the skill positions, they were loaded.
Alabama was loaded on defense.
They were.
They had like 9 first-round draft choices on those 2 defenses.
Yes.
It was loaded.
Yeah.
Now, back to what happened yesterday. This was more about the Texans, but specifically, this was all about Bill O'Brien.
Oh, I would fire Bill O'Brien, too.
You know what? I would agree with that. Now, that'd be a drastic maneuver.
No, it's not.
When you're up 24-0, you'd say, well, yeah, how could you fire him off that?
And I don't recommend firing. I hate when people lose their job. But I don't know if Romeo Crennel is right man for the job at the defensive coordinator.
Maybe not.
This definitely falls on his shoulders as well.
Okay, so you're up 21-0, and Deshaun has just completed a 13-yard pass on 3rd and 11 to D-Hop, and then he's completed a 15-yard pass to Kenny Stills, and all of a sudden you squeeze it out, you get it all the way down to 4th and 1 at the 13. It's about 2/3 of a yard to go.
Not a full
and you
yard.
call timeout, and you look at it, and you're Bill O'Brien, who plays terminally not to lose. That's how he plays his life. I just don't want to screw it up. How can I not screw this up? I should take the field goal. And his explanation after the game was, I didn't have a great play call there. You have Deshaun Watson. There's no better playmaker on 4th and less than 1 than Deshaun.
Call one of them plays to help you get that 21-point lead.
Yeah. Come on.
Quarterback sneak, anything.
Do it. Sneak and let him roll out.
Yeah.
Listen.
We're playing with house money at that point.
I am so comfortable with Deshaun rolling out to his right.
Right.
Because he's either going to find somebody open or he's just going to hurdle for it, right?
Yeah.
He's going to get you a yard. And instead, let's take the field goal. Let's take the cowardly way out, if you will. And again, it's not all bad to be up suddenly 24-0. But if you go 28, if you can go cash that in, you send a message to the home team, we are all business here. We just went for your throat. And somehow 28-0, it would take some of your heart away for the Chiefs because remember, they had lost 7 of their previous 8 home playoff games, 7 of their previous 8. So they'd be looking at each other like, man, that just seems like a mountain we can't climb. And again, you do have Patrick Mahomes, and you do have all those weapons at home, but it would just seem like that would be the quote-unquote kill shot psychologically. That's how it would feel to me. And instead, Mecole Hardman, he goes the other way, right? And
that kickoff jump started everything.
It was everything. He goes, 58 yards with that? And then Bill O'Brien goes into panic mode instead of a shrewd operator play on 4th and 4. He snaps it, and they said they weren't sure what they were doing, but he snapped it kind of late to Justin Reed, who's a safety from Stanford, and he's a good player, but he's not an offensive player. I don't think he's ever run with the football in his life. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe he did in high school. In high school, I assume so. But now you're open field with Daniel Sorensen, undrafted out of BYU, but he's a good player.
Yeah, because he's on the nickel defense. He plays a lot.
No, he plays a lot. He's a good player, and he makes plays.
That was a heck of a play skill.
Okay, but he just goes right at his ankles and just nails him cold, and that's basically the football game to me.
Good job, inside out. Don't worry, overplay him, have him cut back on you. Play him inside out. He made a heck of a play. But Skip,
it's too bad they didn't have Reggie Bush in the open field like that. Because I don't think Daniel Sorensen.
I definitely would have got that first down.
I think he would have got
But wait, so you see, I see what you're trying to do, Reg. You don't know what he's at, but I've been working with this new man for almost 4 years. He always talk about somebody else because he don't want to give my homeboy no credit. Because all these guys.
You know what? I'll give you this. He played great catch with Kelsey. They just played catch all day long.
Routes on there.
Yeah.
Huh?
What about that one?
Routes on there.
Routes on air.
Did you see him throw that comeback to Tyreek Hill? Yeah. Tyreek Hill was like, whoa!
Did you see Lonnie Johnson Jr. for the Texans? You know why you didn't see him? Because he wasn't in your screen. He wasn't on television because he was so far behind Travis Kelce.
I run my offense. Who you choose to put on my best player, that's on you. And now, if you don't want to double him, because, Skip, here's the thing. If you double him, you really want Tyreek and Mecole Hardman one-on-one racing up the seams.
I know, but after a while, you just say, this is a joke. Yeah. He's just waiting. He's waiting. And by the way, they have no pass rush. The Texans. At all. He's waiting. He's looking for 87. What do you think you're going to do this time? You go in? Oh, you're going to go over there? I'll just throw it over there, too.
Hold on. You do realize that the Chiefs were playing without their best defensive lineman, Chris Jones.
Yeah. Okay.
And one of the top safeties was out. Thornhill.
Okay. So
we might if they get Chris Jones back this week.
You got this?
I gotta pull up. I guess I gotta pull out my old Chiefs helmet.
I think you may have
Yeah, I
to.
gotta rest his soul, Derek Thomas. He and I swapped helmets one year.
Bring
We're
that
gonna
out,
need him
please.
against Derrick Henry.
I'd say.
Derrick Henry's running
Derrick
through
Henry.
everybody.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of him, we have a lot more to talk about. With that one, we want to keep you around for one more. What happened to Lamar Jackson on Saturday? We will discuss next.
In a row